Danny Welbeck welcomed him to Chelsea because today they've gone ahead, obviously, announced him as their player. And today, Chelsea was beaten by a 10-man team known as Tottenham Hotspur. And after being beaten like that, I tell you what, I think Alonso was like, you guys joke so much. Let me get in some huge experience. And the main reason as to why they've gone ahead to bring in this guy and Jadon Henderson, it's all about the experience that these teams or these players bring to the team. And many might not come out and obviously appreciate such, but you need to obviously have an unusual eye to come in through and obviously come out with the best of the best to really go ahead and really use your microscope and really understand why they've gone ahead to bring in Danny Welbeck. I've seen some people come out and obviously criticize the coming through of Danny Welbeck, but in his interview, he has spoken out why he thinks he has been brought in throughout Chelsea. And when you look through what he has gone ahead to say, indeed, it's the main reason as to why Chelsea have gone ahead to decide to sign Danny Welbeck. Coming back to London, he has been in London before when he was playing for a club known as Arsenal, as they bought him from Man United, but they let him go. That is Danny Welbeck for you. Huge experience, and he is that guy that Chelsea really needed. And we went ahead and obviously went to the website of Chelsea. They've said Danny Welbeck signs for Chelsea. They've told us that Chelsea is delighted to announce the signing of Danny Welbeck from Premier League side Brighton and Hove Albion. The striker, who has been capped 42 times by England, has signed a contract until 2028 and will join up with Xabi Alonso's squad during the preseason tour. When you hear of the interest from Chelsea, it's something that fills you with some immense pride, Welbeck said. Knowing the history of Chelsea, it's a club that wants to win trophies and is pushing to do everything every single season. Obviously, when you're Welbeck playing at Brighton and Chelsea knocks on the door, obviously, you don't think twice. You are like, my agent, just make it happen. You know, it is something that comes in through in your evening years of your career, and you're like, is this really happening? Because it's really surprising. He added and said, I'm really honored to come to the club of this stature at what feels like a really exciting time. I know a few of the boys already, and I have had fantastic conversations with the manager and already feel that connection. Obviously, if you know the time that Danny Welbeck has been at a side known as Brighton, obviously, you know very well that he has been talking, or he was with a guy called what's his name? Moise Caicedo, because the guy joined Brighton in 2020, right? 2020, he joined them and obviously left in 2026. And you know Moise Caicedo, he left the side of Brighton in 2023. And I think this is going to be his third season at the side of Chelsea, meaning that he knows him very well. So, when you look at which other player does Danny Welbeck know? Which other player? Carl Palmer. They've not yet met. Rich James. I think they've ever played together at the England national team. Right? Really? No, because he last played at the England national team in 2018. Not really. Cucurella left, but he was part of the thing. Is it called Colwill? Colwill. I think they know themselves well because Colwill played at Brighton in there for you. And which other player? Which other player really? The other one is Yao Pedro, because they bought him from Brighton. You understand? So there might be others. You can obviously go into the comments section and let me know about these players that this guy has gone ahead to obviously do know in there. But speaking like that, he's like sending you a message that indeed he knows exactly why he's here. Then he said, I'm really honored to come to a club of this stature at what feels like an exciting time. I know a few boys and I have had fantastic conversations with the manager and I really feel that connection, obviously. And by the way, they've gone ahead to bring in a player who has gone ahead to keep himself fit. He plays a minimum of like 30 Premier League games a season. That is it. So he's really going to be a very huge pillar into the season of Chelsea. I've got the fire in my belly, and I'm ready to give it everything for this club to make everyone at Chelsea and the supporters proud. That is Danny Welbeck for you. So he's like, I'm still going. And by the way, football has gotten revolutionized when it comes to the age at which one should hang up his boots. If a team like Chelsea can go in for a 35-year-old player, that means Welbeck has really put out enough evidence to see to it that they can sign him, because they are free agents like Vlahovic and very many other forwards. But they're like, let's go in for this guy. And they had to pay some money to bring him in. And you never know. There is a reason as to why the money that they pay to bring him on is not the money they are not willing to give to Vlahovic to come and really play at Chelsea. You understand? Welbeck arrives at Stamford Bridge with a wealth of top-level experience. He has made 400 appearances in the Premier League, has played in the UEFA Champions League, and has represented England at 2 FIFA World Cups. He began his career with Man United and established himself as a key figure under Sir Alex Ferguson, winning the Premier League, twice lifting the League Cup and Community Shield, and claiming the 2008 FIFA Club World Cup with the club of Man United. The 35-year-old moved to Arsenal in September 2014 and spent 5 seasons with the North London side. He scored 32 goals in 126 outings and won the FA Cup and Community Shield with the Gunners before moving on to Watford and then Brighton. That is the lad. Welbeck made more than 200 appearances for the Seagulls and remained a consistent Premier League goal scorer with 26 goals struck in the top flight over the past 2 seasons. By the way, that's really great. Averaging 13 goals every season in the Premier League at Brighton in the previous 2 seasons. That is something that you have to obviously pay a lot of attention to detail and obviously understand that indeed he is really great in there for you. Now, on the international stage, Welbeck represented England's senior side across 8 years. He netted 16 times for the Three Lions and was a key figure at the 2022 Euros. Welcome, Danny, to the side of the Premier League blue side known as Chelsea. Now, Danny Welbeck has obviously gone ahead to arrive, and I tell you, him arriving at Chelsea is really very important, and he comes in with what we call a vast experience. I tell you, vast experience, and many will love his leadership skills at the side of Chelsea. But we have some photos for you that we've gone ahead to get for the lad, and let's obviously start here when Danny Welbeck is arriving at the Cobham, at Chelsea. Then there comes Danny Welbeck walking in through at the side of Chelsea. You see, welcome to Chelsea Football Club, putting pen to paper. That is Danny Welbeck. I think you enjoyed that too. All right. Doing the needful at Chelsea, that is Danny Welbeck there for you. Holding his shirt, that is Danny Welbeck for you. Then see him seated with a radio and seated on the ball, obviously at Cobham, ready to go. That is Danny Welbeck in the blue shirt of Chelsea. That is him smiling. That is Danny Welbeck, obviously feeling inspired and ready to go. Danny Welbeck smiling, and that is Danny Welbeck for you. So we are waiting to know the shirt number of Danny Welbeck and how he'll feature in this. And I think he's ready. And Chelsea is going to be playing AC Milan. I think, is it on Wednesday? Let me check here. Chelsea FC. Chelsea is going to be playing Juventus on Wednesday. That is it. So it might be his debut. That is it. So your reactions to Chelsea unveiling Danny Welbeck are welcome in the comment section below. Big player, and he's going to have a very big impact into the signings that this side has gone ahead to make. Now we wait for them to reveal Jordan Henderson, another experienced English player coming into the side. And The other factor as to why they're going for these English players, they're home-based players and they are cheap. So they might be players they're going to bring in through to obviously see to it that they obviously meet the Premier League rule of having 8 home-based players in their squad. I'm out. Bye-bye.